Veterans, if you've been told your running injury is just because your muscles are too tight, you've been lied to, and you've been stretching day after day, hoping it'll fix the pain. You're not alone. But the truth is, tight muscles are not the root cause. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. See, I'm Dr. Peralta, physical therapist, exercise physiologist, run coach, and Marine veteran. Over 10 years, I've helped hundreds of people, especially veterans, recover from pain and build real strength and endurance. And I've seen firsthand how dangerous this tight muscle myth can be. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 reasons why this idea is misleading, outdated, and often keeps you stuck in pain. You'll walk away knowing what really causes running injuries and what to do instead. We're going to cover why tightness is usually a symptom, not a cause, what the nervous system has to do with your pain, why even flexible runners still get injured, and a story from the field that'll help all this click into place. So let's dive in. Number one, running injuries are multifactorial, and most kind of sport injuries are. So, running injury, right? It's usually it's a injury. It's not, you're not being tackled by like a football player or anything like that. You're just going, you could be just out running by yourself, and then you start developing things you do to overuse or overloading. So, usually it comes down to load being greater than tissue capacity or your body's ability to withstand that loading capacity over time. So it's not has to do with muscle flexibility. So here are the real culprits, right? Poor running mechanics. Maybe you're overstriding. Maybe you have poor running form. Maybe you suddenly take up running with after months of just being, or someone who's worked at a desk job for years, and then all of a sudden you started to go for a run without any preparation. Right. So sudden increase in activity in terms of, hey, you went from not running to running, sudden increase in mileage or intensity. So you try to increase the volume. So you start doing like 6 days a week running from when previously you only doing like 1 or 2 days a week, or you started really trying to ramp up the speed when you're going like at an easy space. And all of a sudden you start going like a hard sprints without the proper preparation, weak glutes, core, or calf muscles. So if your muscles are just not strong enough to handle that impact loading, because running could be 2 to 3 times body weight through your legs. So if you're 150 pounds, that's 300 to 450 pounds of force going through your leg with every time your foot hits the ground. Poor sleep, nutrition, or stress management, right? You're not properly recovering between workouts. So that could lead to overload, overstress on the body. You're not even dealing with, physical or even psychological stress, because these stress can cause stress hormones like cortisol, which can lead to inflammation. And even that can actually contribute to injuries in addition to the overloading on the body. And then poor nutrition, not fueling properly. So if you're not eating enough, your body's in a stressful state because they're not getting enough calories, enough energy, sort of starts to, break down, starts taking minerals and stuff from like the bone tissues. A lot of times this causes low calories can lead to bone stress injuries. And then obviously lack of strength training. If you're not strong enough to handle the demands of running, you're just going to break down just because of that. Your body's not able to handle running from the repetitive impact of running, impact loading. And either poor footwear, outdated shoes. Maybe you're running a shoe that you're not comfortable in running in. So it's an uncomfortable shoe that's causing more stress through your body, through your foot, knees and ankles, etc. And then movement imbalances, maybe putting more, shifting your weight more on one side than the other. You're not really balanced between left or right side. Your body, your nervous system might actually be moving in certain ways, causing imbalances, or previous injuries and that haven't fully healed yet. So a lot of times people have previous injuries that reoccur thinking, oh, I'm safe to go run now, but it's actually that previous injury, you never fully properly healed it or addressed it. And so stretching alone doesn't fix all these things. Part 2, tightness is often just a symptom. See, just because a muscle feels tight doesn't mean that it's short. In many cases, it's your nervous system. Hey, this area is, not feeling safe. Let's lock it down. See, that tight feeling is often protective. It's trying to protect you from overloading it. It's trying to stop you from moving. So let's take back injury, right? So a lot of times people feel back pain and think they have to do a forward bend to stretch it, not knowing that they could often be making it worse. So that injury per se may be due to muscles supporting above and below, maybe at the glutes or the hips that they're not strong enough, they might be weak, maybe poor motor control, that you're not able to properly control the movement pattern. So when it comes to running, maybe you don't have proper control of your lower body. That could be leading to injuries. And then overuse, maybe it might be even not overuse from running itself. It might be just overuse from sitting too long. That's a type of overuse. You're just overly sitting and overusing the sitting areas of your body, like putting more stress on the ligaments, the connective tissue around, let's say, your spine, your hips, and your knees. So that might be a cause as well. So yeah, so it's your body's way of The tightness is your body's way of kind of bracing, trying to stabilize for poor movement. And that poor movement could even just be happening at the joint level versus the muscle level. Part three, flexible runners still get injured. See, if tightness was the main problem, flexible runners would never get hurt, right? You just would have to do yoga and you'd be great. And don't get me wrong, I do yoga as well. I do think it's a great practice, but that alone is not going to prevent all the injuries. But we see injuries across the board, even in yoga instructors, dancers, ballerinas. In fact, studies show that being too flexible can potentially increase injury risk as well. So, a study in 2004 by Thacker et al. Saw that stretching improves flexibility but doesn't necessarily lower injury risk. And another study by Jones in 1999 in Army soldiers with either too much or too little flexibility had double the injury rate with those with average levels of flexibility and mobility. So, I'm gonna give you a quick story. So let's take you into a typical training session I typically see. Let's say like a group running session. Maybe it's 6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night. We're doing the group warm up, and I have some adults come in, adult runners, beginners, different levels, intermediate, etc. And they can't do a proper squat. Their ankles aren't moving, and we try calf stretches. So runner one, they do the calf stretches, they improve. However, the runners 2 to 4, they're still stuck. They're not still properly squat despite doing that runner's calf stretch. If you're not familiar with that, which is where you lean up on a wall, extend your leg, your back leg is kind of straight, knee straight, foot pointed like 12 o'clock, right? Boom, in a staggered stance, you're stretching. You could also do it with the knee bent to, hit gastroc, knee bend will hit soleus. You do that, yet some people will actually get results with that, while others will necessarily not see much difference in their range of motion. So it turns out it wasn't just a stretching problem. See, for many other people, it might be a problem with the nervous system, where so the brain doesn't know how to access the range that they may have. So they may have to like hold on to something. So let's say taking the deep squat, for example. So some people just need to improve their ankle flexibility, right? They do ankle stretches, they're okay. But other people need to hold like a counterweight so they could do a deep squat. And some people need to actually hold on to like a beam or a balance to give them additional support, so then they could finally lower into deep squat. So most people, when they hold on to the support, may find that they could do it. Other people, they need to elevate their heels, put a heel lift. Other people need to hold on like a counterweight, put the counterweight in front of them. But it is possible to retrain most people on how to squat deeply or properly, which will also, in general, also lead to improved performance for running. But it's not just static stretching. It's usually strengthening, supporting muscles, strengthening the core, the glutes, motor control, like retraining movement patterns, like practicing the movement with to help improve your balance. And then it's just not just static stretching alone. So if this is hitting home, you tried doing random stretches that don't work, you're still getting injured, check out the free training, a link in the description where I show you how to run and train pain-free using proven strategies backed by science, not just myths. So let's recap. Running injuries come from doing more than your body's prepared for, not just tightness alone. Tight muscles are often a response, not the root cause. Stretching won't fix issues with the nervous system, and strong and stable beats just flexible and fragile. So if you're a veteran, 35 plus, and want to rebuild your body without, failing for outdated fitness advice, again, check out my free training, link in the description.